The new cardinals come from 14 different countries around the world. 18 of the 21 newly elected cardinals are under the age of 80, and thus eligible under church law to enter a secret conclave to elect the next pope after Francis's death or resignation. There is no doubt that the Pope holds one of the most important positions, not only in the Catholic faith, but also in the world. For years, people have been speculating on the Pope's resignation and who might be the next Pope. Pope Francis has often said the papacy is for life, but a resignation has never been out of the question. When the world thought they knew what to expect, there was a surprising twist that left everyone in shock. This time, it wasn't just about his resignation. It was about who will continue his legacy, who will succeed Pope Francis, and what does this mean for the Church? Join us as we reveal what happened to the Pope. What just happened to Pope Francis? Breaking news has just surfaced, leaving the world stunned. Pope Francis has hinted at the possibility of his retirement, a move that could mark the end of his papacy. Elected as the 266th Pope of the Catholic Church on March 13, 2013, Pope Francis has served faithfully for nearly 12 years. However, the Pope himself has acknowledged that no one can serve the Church indefinitely. At 88 years old, concerns about his health have been growing, with rumors circulating about his physical condition and whether he can continue to meet the demands of his role. Given his age, many have speculated about when he might decide to step back and what that decision would mean for the Church. Now, Pope Francis has finally broken his silence on the matter. His comments about retirement have left everyone in shock. The 85-year-old Francis stressed that he hadn't thought about resigning until now. Pope Francis has said that some situations could make him consider stepping down from his role. Even though he has dismissed rumors about resigning anytime soon, he's been honest about the challenges he faces as Pope. One thing that could make him resign is his health, which has been a recurring concern throughout his time as a leader of the Catholic Church. Health problems are one of the main reasons Pope Francis might think about resigning. His physical condition has come up in discussions many times, especially when he has shown signs of struggle or needed medical attention. In 2021, rumors about his resignation began to spread because people were worried about his health. Although he quickly denied these rumors, it became clear that many were concerned about how long he could continue in his demanding role. In June 2022, Pope Francis cancelled 2 important trips to the Democratic Republic of the Congo and South Sudan. His doctors advised him not to go because of his health. This was one of the rare times when the Pope had to prioritize his well-being over his duties. It showed how his physical condition could impact his responsibilities, raising questions about whether he might eventually decide to step down. Another serious moment came in March 2023, when Pope Francis was hospitalized with a lung infection. Tonight, just days before Holy Week begins, Catholics around the world are praying for Pope Francis. The Vatican says the 86-year-old Pope is in the hospital tonight after complaining of breathing problems. However, he recovered quickly and returned to leading public Mass. Even though he continues to work hard, unexpected health issues like this could interfere with the busy schedule of a pope. In June 2023, he had surgery to treat a hernia. This required him to stay in the hospital for several days, bringing attention back to the pressures of his role. While these health issues were disclosed, there are still aspects of his condition that have been kept hidden from the public. Since 2022, Pope Francis has been using a wheelchair because of knee pain. He has spoken openly about how this has slowed him down, describing it as a new, slower phase in his papacy. While he has adapted to this change, it also raises the possibility that he may find his physical limits too restricting in the future. More recently, in December 2024, Pope Francis appeared with a bruise on his chin after a fall. Just a month later, in January 2025, he fell again and injured his arm, needing to wear a sling. Although neither of these incidents was serious, they showed the physical risks he faces as he grows older. Despite these challenges, Pope Francis has said that his current health does not make him feel like he should resign. We have shocking new revelations this morning about Pope Francis's health. In a new interview, he reveals that he has already written a resignation letter in case medical issues leave him unable to perform his duties. He has reassured Catholics that he feels well enough to do his job. However, he has also revealed that he wrote a resignation letter in case his health ever becomes so bad that he can no longer fulfill his responsibilities. This shows that he is prepared to put the Church first if he feels he can no longer lead effectively. In his book, Hope, Pope Francis writes that he is not overly worried about his health and feels capable of carrying on. He comforts those who look up to him as a leader by sharing his thoughts while also being honest about the possibility of stepping down if needed. The fact that he has a resignation letter ready also shows his deep sense of responsibility to the Church. Throughout his time as Pope, Francis has faced many challenges with his health, but has continued to fulfill his duties with dedication. His openness about the possibility of resigning sets an example of humility and realism. Pope Francis has often said that a pope must be able to lead the Church effectively. He believes that if he can no longer fulfill his responsibilities, it would be better to step down. This only reflects his humble approach to the role, as he sees the position not as one of power, but as a duty to serve billions of Catholics around the world. The possibility of resignation is something he has seriously considered. A new announcement from the Vatican is once again raising questions about whether or not Pope Francis will soon step down as a leader of the Catholic Church. If anything prevents him from doing his job, however, Pope Francis has made it clear that resignation is not something he is planning right now. He has spoken against the idea of popes stepping down too often, saying it should only happen in rare cases. He believes that resigning should not become a common practice, as it could weaken the image of the papacy. If he were to resign, Pope Francis has said he would like to be called the Bishop Emeritus of Rome. This title highlights his role as a pastor rather than a figure of authority. There is also the belief that a pope must be in full control of his mental faculties, which may be a reason. But health isn't the only reason people think Pope Francis might resign. There's an even more shocking reason. Let's take a closer look. Internal church conflicts and opposition. Pope Francis has faced internal opposition, which could eventually lead him to consider resigning. In 2018, Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano accused him of covering up abuse allegations against Cardinal Theodore McCarrick. Vigano even called for the Pope's resignation, claiming he failed to act decisively against abusers. Although Pope Francis chose not to respond to these accusations, the situation highlighted the deep divisions within the Church and the difficulty of managing such challenges while trying to maintain unity. Pope Francis and his recent health struggles have fueled rumors that he might be planning to retire. The controversy surrounding Vigano became even more complicated when he faced a Vatican trial for creating division within the Church. It is possible for internal conflicts to grow and create further problems for the Pope. Having to address such public disputes, especially involving ranking clergy, only adds pressure to the whole issue. These issues not only damage the Church's image, but also make it harder for Pope Francis to focus on his mission of reform and renewal. Conservative groups, particularly in the United States, have also been critical of Pope Francis. They often oppose his progressive views on issues like climate change, interfaith dialogue, and inclusion of communities. Many within these groups have openly criticized his leadership and policies, and some have even called for his resignation. This strong opposition reveals the deep ideological differences within the Church, making it difficult for Pope Francis to unite such a diverse global community. Financial reforms have been another major challenge for the Pope. Since becoming the leader of the Catholic Church in 2013, Pope Francis has worked hard to address corruption and financial mismanagement within the Vatican. However, these reforms have not been easy to implement. Pope Francis also made news over the weekend after a recent interview was released. He says that, in case of medical impediment, he has already signed his resignation and has given it to one of the Vatican cardinals. Some church leaders have resisted change, while others have criticized the Pope's efforts, claiming they are not transparent enough. This pushback has made it harder for him to achieve his goals and added to the pressures of his role. Calls for Pope Francis to resign from conservative groups add to the challenges he faces. These demands, often based on disagreements over his leadership style and policies, create significant strain. While Pope Francis has always emphasized the need for unity, the constant criticism from some factions has created significant pressure. Despite these difficulties, Pope Francis has made many efforts to address internal divisions within the Church. He has often spoken about the importance of dialogue and reconciliation, encouraging church members to come together despite their differences. He believes that unity does not mean everyone has to agree on everything, but that the Church should work as one to serve its mission. However, the ongoing disagreements within the Church may make it difficult to achieve this goal. But that's not all. Pope Francis has also taken strong actions against individuals involved in abuse or misconduct. He has removed bishops and cardinals accused of wrongdoing and introduced policies to protect vulnerable people in the Church. While these efforts have been praised by many, they have also upset some groups within the Church who see them as too harsh or politically motivated. This balance between taking decisive action and dealing with backlash adds to the complexity of his leadership role. Francis has openly acknowledged this in an effort to bring transparency to the inner workings of the Church. While many appreciated his honesty, others felt it hurt the Church's image. According to reports, since the beginning of Pope Francis's pontificate, the presence of women in the Vatican has increased, with the rise from 19.2% to 23.4% in the number of women holding positions in the Holy See and Vatican City state. Fighting corruption has been one of Pope Francis's biggest priorities. He has introduced financial audits and tightened oversight in the Vatican to ensure funds are used properly. However, many of these reforms have been met with resistance from church officials who benefit from the old systems. The combined weight of these internal conflicts and resistance could eventually make Pope Francis think about resigning. Leading a global church with so many divisions and challenges is not an easy task, especially for someone who is also dealing with health issues and the demands of old age. Resignation could allow someone with fresh energy and ideas to take over and help the Church move forward. It might also give Pope Francis a chance to rest after years of intense work. But then this raises a question. If Pope Francis were to resign today, who would be the one to take the reins? Has Pope Francis chosen a successor, or will the College of Cardinals need to convene to select the next leader of the Catholic Church? Many Christians are still curious about who will be the next successor of Pope Francis. Pope Francis, on the other hand, is yet to reveal who will likely succeed him. Instead, he has only shared the qualities he believes are essential for the next pope. This has led people to speculate about which of the cardinals possess these qualities. After all, the next pope will be chosen from among the cardinals, as it has been the tradition. There are currently many cardinals serving with Pope Francis, but who among them truly embodies the qualities the Pope described? And more importantly, who is Pope Francis's favorite? The Pope's response to this question has left many stunned, and we're about to reveal it. This morning we are counting down to the conclave. The secret voting process to elect the next Pope is just hours away, and the world is watching. Which cardinal does Pope Francis seem to favor based on his comments? Before we dive into that, let's take a closer look at the serving cardinals. Stay with us as we explore who might be the Pope's chosen successor. Cardinals that may succeed. Pope Francis. Although it's not certain who will become the next Pope after Pope Francis, many believe Cardinal Luis Tagle is the most likely candidate. His remarkable journey in the Catholic Church and the qualities he has shown over the years have made him stand out among other cardinals. To understand why he is seen as a possible successor, it is essential to look at his early years and the steps that brought him to his current position. Cardinal Luis Tagle's strong bond with the Church began during his childhood. Born in Manila, Philippines in 1957, he grew up in a deeply religious Catholic family. His parents taught him the importance of faith, kindness, and service to others. From a young age, Tagle showed great devotion to the Church, serving as an altar boy and taking part in many church activities. These early experiences helped shape his lifelong love for the Church and its mission. Tagle's journey into the priesthood was marked by years of hard work and study. He attended the Ateneo de Manila University, where he studied philosophy and later joined the San Jose Seminary. His dedication was clear during this time. He further deepened his knowledge by earning a doctorate in sacred theology from the Catholic University of America. His studies focused on the role of the Church in the modern world, preparing him for the leadership roles he would later take on. Luis Tagle became a priest in 1982. He is the most popular cardinal on Facebook, and his homilies are among the most searched on YouTube. His name is Luis Antonio Tagle, the Archbishop of Manila. Born in 1957 in Manila, he was only 55 years old when he became one of the youngest members of the College of Cardinals. Beginning a career filled with both teaching and pastoral work, he helped guide his community and built strong connections with those he served. At the same time, he taught theology to future priests, sharing his knowledge and inspiring others. A major step in Tagle's career came in 2001 when he was named Bishop of Imus. As a bishop, he worked closely with his community, often visiting people in their homes and focusing on making the Church more accessible to everyone. He led with humility and compassion, showing a deep commitment to helping the poor and the marginalized. His leadership style reflected the values of the Second Vatican Council, which encouraged the Church to engage more with the world. Luis Tagle's reputation grew as he became involved in international church work. He represented the Catholic Church in global meetings, working to address important issues like poverty and social justice. He also worked to promote dialogue between different religions. His ability to work with people from diverse cultures and his dedication to helping the poor made him widely respected around the world. These efforts helped build his image as a leader who could unite the Church. In 2012, Pope Benedict XVI appointed Luis Tagle as the Archbishop of Manila and later made him a cardinal. This was a turning point in his career, placing him among the top leaders of the Catholic Church. As a cardinal, Tagle became involved in many important roles in the Vatican, including helping guide the Church's response to modern challenges. His elevation to cardinal was seen as recognition of his strong leadership and his commitment to the Church's mission. The Archbishop of Manila, Luis Tagle, says that nowadays having faith is not just a matter of religion. He notes that people's lack of faith in humanity is changing society. Over the years, Tagle has earned great respect among clergy. He is often described as humble, approachable, and deeply compassionate. His ability to explain church teachings in a way that everyone can understand has made him a favorite among Catholics worldwide. He is also known for his focus on helping the poor and his efforts to make the Church more inclusive. Will Luis Tagle be the next Pope? Cardinal Luis Tagle's name is often mentioned when people discuss who might become the next Pope. Given his impressive career and qualities that suit the needs of the modern Catholic Church, his strong leadership has made him a capable candidate for the role. Tagle has held key positions, such as serving as Archbishop of Manila, where he led a large Catholic community in Asia. In 2019, Pope Francis appointed him to head the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, one of the most important Vatican offices. These positions prove his ability to manage large groups and handle the responsibilities of the Church. Besides his leadership experience, Tagle is also known for his deep understanding of theology. He holds a doctorate in sacred theology from the Catholic University of America, where his work focused on how theology can relate to modern society. Tagle's deep knowledge of Catholic teachings makes him a respected voice on religious and ethical matters. He's good at explaining complex theological ideas in ways that people can understand, which is a key skill for a pope. This helps him connect with Catholics from all walks of life and ensures that his message reaches as many people as possible. Tagle is also known for his reformist mindset, which aligns with the approach Pope Francis has taken in the Church. He has been actively involved in making the Church more modern and transparent. One area where he has had an impact is in improving financial transparency within the Vatican. He has also worked on making sure that the Church holds its clergy accountable for any wrongdoings, such as abuse or corruption. Another quality that makes Cardinal Tagle a strong candidate is his global perspective. Being from the Philippines, the 62-year-old Filipino cardinal succeeds Cardinal Fernando Filoni, who led the Vatican department for 8 years. He has a unique understanding of the Church's needs in both developed and developing nations. His work includes engaging with Catholics in regions like Asia, Africa, and Latin America, which are becoming increasingly important in the Church. He has also worked to build relationships with people from different cultures and religions, showing his commitment to unity and peace. This experience makes him well-suited to lead a global institution that seeks to address the needs of people from all over the world. Tagle's strong relationships within the College of Cardinals may play a role in his potential to become Pope. He is well respected among his fellow cardinals for his intelligence. More so, Tagle's personality may help his chances. Like Pope Francis and Pope John Paul II, he is known for his warmth and ability to connect with ordinary people. He is often seen engaging with people from all walks of life, listening to their stories and offering comfort. His approachable nature makes him a beloved figure among Catholics around the world. This kind of connection with the faithful is important for any pope, and it's something Tagle shares with previous popular popes. Cardinal Tagle's ability to address the challenges facing the Church today makes him a strong candidate for the papacy. the Church is currently facing a lot of challenges. Taken together, all these qualities make Cardinal Luis Tagle one of the top candidates to succeed Pope Francis. Beyond being the most qualified cardinal, many believe Tagle is Pope Francis's favorite. But how true is the speculation that Tagle has already won the heart of the current Pope? Keep watching to know more. Does Pope Francis endorse Luis Tagle? Many people believe Pope Francis may choose Cardinal Luis Tagle as his successor, and there are several key reasons for this. One of the main reasons is the frequent appointments that Pope Francis has made to Cardinal Tagle, showing the trust and confidence the Pope has in him. Over the years, Pope Francis has consistently given Tagle important responsibilities, a clear sign of his faith in his abilities. In 2019, for example, Pope Francis appointed Tagle as the prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, a highly influential position in the Church. Pope Francis has appointed Cardinal Luis Tagle as the new head of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples. This role shows that the Pope trusts Tagle to lead one of the Church's most critical departments. This pattern of appointments leads many to believe that Pope Francis is positioning Tagle for even greater responsibilities in the future. Another reason why people think Pope Francis might endorse Cardinal Tagle is the public praise he has given him. Pope Francis has often spoken highly of Tagle in his speeches and writings. The Pope has called Tagle a humble, intelligent and deeply spiritual person in many of his public remarks. Pope Francis has praised Tagle's work and his ability to connect with people, which makes him a respected figure in the Church. This public acknowledgement suggests that the Pope sees Tagle not only as a trustworthy ally, but also as someone who shares his values and approach to leading the Church. Their collaboration on reforms also suggests that Pope Francis may see Tagle as a potential successor. Pope Francis has focused on reforms in various areas, such as improving financial transparency, addressing clerical abuse, and making the Church more inclusive. Cardinal Tagle has worked closely with the Pope on these initiatives, often taking on leadership roles in projects related to social justice, environmental care, and interfaith dialogue. For instance, Tagle played a prominent role in the Synod on the Amazon, where the Pope and Tagle shared similar views on the Church's responsibility to care for indigenous communities and the environment. Additionally, the shared commitment of Pope Francis and Cardinal Tagle to social justice and inclusivity is another reason why many believe the Pope might choose Tagle as his successor. Both have been passionate about advocating for the poor, marginalized and vulnerable in society. However, despite these positive comments, Pope Francis has not officially endorsed Cardinal Tagle as his successor. The process of choosing a new pope is complex and involves the College of Cardinals. Although the outgoing pope's preferences may influence the choice, the final decision is made through a secret conclave of cardinals where votes are cast in secrecy. The cardinal's primary focus is choosing a leader who will guide the Church in accordance with God's will. While many Catholics are already curious about who will take Pope Francis's place, only time will reveal the person's identity. Do you think Pope Francis will resign anytime soon? Who do you think will succeed him? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, click on the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss it.